Hi, this is Mike, and we're looking at the Euro chart. So I have something interesting for you today. Now, in this idea recently, I've said, you know what, we can move down to the 0.382 area, and we've counted a beautiful 5 waves up. But there's one thing wrong with this. Actually, there's two. One is, well, it's kind of weak for an impulsive move when you think about it all in all. And two, have we really done enough digging on the previous pattern? So one thing that's now becoming a little bit more apparent is if we're expecting a move down in crypto, in Bitcoin, to be pretty severe, then what exactly does that mean for the euro? Does that mean that this is only going to go to 0.382? Or could it potentially be in a zigzag wave 5 pattern? Right? I'm explaining this to you right now. So this count looks a bit better now. If we take a look at the first wave, I've always thought this, and I'm coming back to it now. This is an example of how I use previous analysis, and I remember the analysis and I bring it back into play. That looks like a zigzag, wave 1. Okay, zigzag wave 1, 2, adjusted count, right? And then we have a zigzag wave 3. Okay, correction for wave 4, and then we need another zigzag for wave 5. Okay, it's starting to make a bit sense now. Okay, that move down will probably be sharp, not weak, and I think it will end up being the end of this wave E, and it would have been a type 1 week 5 wave move. So slowly piecing it together, and this is what I see. This is what is revealing itself to me, and it's what's making the most sense, right? So always wondered about that, took a closer look, put two and two together, and you can see, I'll go to the 4-hour chart and I'll show you that you can actually see when it hit the end of wave A and it started producing A, B, C, D, E, right? E came back just above the first wave A. It was an expanded correction, right? Now, where have we seen an expanded correction like this before, right? Think about 2017 Bitcoin. Remember I told you about that on the way up? We created this type of pattern, right? And then wave E was the killer wave down in cryptos. This is basically the same pattern, all right? I'm starting to see it now. It's there. And I believe that instead of targeting 0.382 in this trade, I would target the length of wave A, which is this line here, which is got a target of approximately, let's just call it 90. Okay, just for a round number, for the sake of having a round number on the screen here, because round numbers matter. Let's target 90 cents, right? And then it might bottom shortly after. Okay, you can trade it however you want, but that there is giving you a clue as to what's going on here, right? Now, the other thing also is that if you look at how this started at the highs, it's looking pretty sharp relative to how it started back in 2021, I think it was, right? The high here in January 2021. It started off pretty, you know, pretty tame. Had a bit of corrective pattern there, but it did all this stuff, wave 1, 2. So I suppose uh, one takeaway here, just so we should be clear on this, I suppose, is that this move here might only be wave 1. in progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I suppose you still could target those levels. And we would most likely maybe get a pullback at some point. We did get a pullback here. It doesn't have to be this deep, 1, 2. But this is the kind of move I'm expecting to happen in the euro, right? And the whole time it was staring right at us as a zigzag wave 5. Now that to me is a pretty good revelation for the day. It says a lot about how we're going to complete this move down. Mind you, I still believe that we are going to go out for that large move sooner or later, right? I suppose all it means now is that the target will likely just be a little bit lower if you're measuring wave A, like this, all right? Wherever we come down toward, the target will just be lower. Instead of $2, wherever it's going, $2.40, it might be $2.20, and that's fine, right? I think the point here is to understand that wave E isn't complete yet. It might end up going a bit lower to maybe retest this area here, right? What else? What else can I present to you with this? Look, at this stage, that's enough. I think it's enough to sort of understand what we're getting ourselves into is always good, right? Because remember, fractal patterns happen all the time. Corrections happen in waves B of zigzag, wave 2 of a 5-wave move, and wave 4 of a 5-wave move. So this could easily be a zigzag, but it could also easily be wave 1 in progress, right, of the coming move down to the lows. Okay, I just wanted to present that to you here because, like I said, whenever I discover new things and come up with a change, I have to make a video about it, and it gives you better targets to aim for. Excuse me. So the only thing I suppose is that whole idea of a 1-2 scenario, right? Do we play the 1-2 card? All right, you got to think about this quickly. This is a wave E, and this move up here in 2020 to 2021 was also a wave E, right? The only difference here is after we hit the top, we made that double top pullback. Now that doesn't mean that it has to happen where we are now. Okay, it doesn't mean that. I suppose the way to look at it is like this. How do you count this as a 5-wave move, right? See, I've counted it as a complete 1. So therefore, it leaves it open for a pullback, right? It leaves it open for a deep pullback. But that's because the whole pattern was wave 1. So what about this pattern here? Are all tops the same? No, they're not, right? Not all tops are the same. So what you're looking at now might be a complete wave 1 before we start to move lower, and you might not even suspect it. More than likely, maybe a few people might not suspect it. But I think that we did a good job in identifying the fact that we have a wave E in place, and I believe it's complete given every single subdivision. And I think that helps us sort of navigate this. Shorting it from the high, not a bad idea. But also from where we are now, keep a lookout for how this unfolds, right? If you start to see 5 waves and it doesn't go any further, sort of gets stuck, then a pullback would likely be the scenario. How deep that pullback goes, we don't know, but nonetheless, it would be a pullback. So I suppose I'll have to keep tracking it, and I'll catch you in the next one.